Hello, welcome. Byrdie here with Redbyrd Designs and just going live with you guys today to do a quick beach painting. This is part of our Fun and Flourish group. We are going live directly on Redbyrd Design and in the group simultaneously, which I think is pretty cool of Facebook to allow us to do that. But that way, those of you who would like to join Fun and Flourish and maybe weren't sure what it's about, you get to see firsthand right on our page. So this is what we're painting today, just a simple little beach scene with a palm tree, and I'm just gonna get ready, and if you're able to join, say hi, let me know you're watching. I should grab my phone, make sure that we're good. There we go. So as always, being a small business in the big world of Facebook, I so appreciate your guys' support in spreading the love or sprinkling the joy, or however you want to say it. Let me grab my sign. So this word, the word that we shouldn't be saying on Facebook, I appreciate that so much, and it just helps maybe somebody else out there be inspired to paint. Any comments that you make, any hearts or thumbs up are always appreciated. It lets Facebook know that we are worthy, essentially. And if you are catching us live or catching this on the replay and are upset that you keep missing us while we go live, if you hit the little bell under the video, you will be notified. Sorry, I was going to show you the little bell there. So under the video, if you're on a mobile device, you should see a little bell pop up there, and that notifies you when we go live or have announcements. So make sure to hit the bell. Okay. Let's see. I don't see any comments yet. Okay. Alright, just wanted to make sure I had good volume. Okay, so I'm just going to tape my paper down real quick. You don't have to tape your paper down or your canvas or whatever it is you're going to be painting on. I do solely to keep me in frame, mostly. And it also gives us a fun little edge or nice white frame around our painting. But that's not necessary either. If you do tape your surface down, whatever it is you're painting, make sure to use a good low tack tape, nothing too strong, otherwise you will end up tearing your paper if that's what you're taping down. Just a good painter's tape or type masking type paint. So this one's just green painter's tape. So, like I said, we are painting for the Fun and Flourish group, which is a group I created after we did a few months of the Fun and Free series, and we had a website, and I was posting things there, and we were just doing all these different paintings, and, well, painting every week, and it got to be a lot of work on the back end, a lot of what's the word? Back-end website work that we weren't enjoying doing for every week. The point of the weekly series was to paint every week and not do a bunch of extra work. So we created the group to house those items. It's a lot easier to upload items into a Facebook group, and so if you'd like to paint along with us and paint with us weekly, simple, just quick little 1 hour paintings, go ahead and hop over to the Fun and Flourish group under Redbyrd Designs. We do house the tracers and the supply list for all the paintings that we do there. I mean the tracers. I let you know the supplies I'm using as I'm painting. And then it's just a free group to share, or a private group to share our paintings and connect with others. So if you'd like to do that, you can. Alright, so this is what we're going to be painting today. And let me talk about the brushes I'm going to be using. I've got a flat, a couple different rounds, and then I will use a liner brush. Something small. Here we go. For the palm trees. And then for paint, I'm going to be using a white and a black. I've got a parrot blue for the sky, holly branch for the leaves. We've got a khaki tan for the sand, as well as a burnt umber. And for the ocean or water, we are using a bimini blue. And I think we do also have a little bit of some yellow in there, so I'm going to pull in a antique gold. So those are the colors that we're going to use for this painting. So hi Anne and Sherry, welcome. Let me know what you guys are doing today. Are you a lake person or a beach person? I think I've been to an actual ocean beach maybe 3 times in my life. Not very many. So I wouldn't consider myself a beach lover by any means, but they sure are fun to paint. Alright, so let's get some color out. We're going to start with our khaki tan, and we'll put some burnt umber out there. We'll put a little bit of this golden antique gold, and we'll get some white and black. So I have been absent from the Fun and Flourish group for a couple weeks now. We had taken a break for a couple weeks, and then we got back in with some 4th of July paintings, and then life got busy, and then we had to take another couple weeks. So I'm hoping that we are back in the groove of painting together weekly. I love these quick little paintings. So fun and easy, and just to get some creative time in. So I'm going to use my large flat for this, and I'm going to just get my base color in. We're going to start with the sand, then we'll do the water, and then we'll do the sky. So my sand is about probably 1/3 of the way up, and we can kind of just bounce our brush around to create a not so straight line here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some dark in my brush. So I'm loading it up with the tan, dipping it in the burnt umber, and just adding some dark areas to my sand. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit of some yellow and blend that in as well. And we're going to need a little bit more of the tan. We'll pick up some white. And so I'm doing big arches here, kind of creating mounds of sand. Just bouncing between some different colors here. We've got the tan, we've got that burnt umber, adding just a little bit of yellow in there, just brightens it up, and then a few streaks of white. This is only the base color, so if you're, after it dries, you want to adjust your mounds of sand, you definitely can. Just getting that first coat down. We want to have some areas of dark and light. So I'm just bringing in some dark areas here and there. Bringing a little bit of light where the light is touching the sand and all of that. Shadows, highlights. Okay, so we're going to let that sit, and we might come back and adjust it a little bit after it dries. We'll see. Let me try and get this in the picture as well here. So we're going to get our turquoise out. And we're not seeing much of the ocean or water in this painting. Probably going to about right there. And so I'm going to come in with just this super dark turquoise color. And then we're going to add some white to it and streak white through there. And I'm going to start to slowly come over this little bit of sand here. Because when you're at the ocean, you do see some of that sand kind of underneath that water where it's really shallow. So we're going to just blend that kind of, we had the white on our brush, we've got a little bit of that blue, and we're just blending it right over that sand. I'm coming down about a half an inch. Okay, so we're going to let that dry, and then we'll come back in with some waves. Let's get the next color out, which is our sky color, and this is a parrot blue. And when I painted this yesterday, I had some black on my brush, and it turned my sky kind of a stormy, cloudy sky. So today we're going to brighten it up just a little bit and have more of a fun, bright sky happening instead of our stormy clouds that happened here. Maybe I wasn't in the best mood when I painted it. I think when we paint, you know, different colors, we tend to gravitate towards different colors, probably depending on our mood. And maybe I wasn't in the best mood when I painted. I tend to paint stormy clouds, and not on purpose, when I'm a little bit maybe crabby. So I'm creating these little swirls too. I'm going to put my bottom line in here where my sky meets the ocean here. And then I'm going to start just coming in and swirling my blue with white on my brush. And having a fun, kind of whimsical sky here. Just bouncing between the white and that parrot blue. Still just using my large flat for this. If you wanted smaller little circles or curlicues in your sky that looked a little bit smaller, you could definitely switch out brushes and do something smaller. I'm just taking it and just twirling it. There we go. It's looking a little brighter and more cheerful. Just by adding a little bit of white and keeping the black dark colors out of my brush. Alright, so while that dries, I want to visit with you a little bit about the summer 2021 paint challenge that we have coming up. So we have a paint challenge coming up on July 27th is when it starts. Let me grab it. And we are going to be painting this awesome painting starting July 27th. This is a 3-day virtual event and it's $12 to join. We have a private Facebook group where everything will be happening. So once you join, you purchase your ticket, you will pop into the Facebook group. It's a private group, and that's where I will go live in the group starting July 27th at 1 p.m. And then we'll go live the next day, the 28th, and then the 29th at 1 p.m. Mountain Central Time. And the videos will be available for replay, so if those times don't work out for you, you definitely could catch them on the replay and still participate in our paint challenge. So what else do we get? We've got the supply list, so everything you're going to need. You get a list of supplies that you're going to need to create this. You get the tracers for this, so if sketching this out and getting all the proportions right makes you nervous, we've got tracers for you. I'll take you through the entire painting step by step, breaking it down into small sections and chunks and making it easy. And then also there's 3 bonuses. So there's the bonus, you get my how to build a palette board tutorial. So I've painted mine on a palette board, and I share that tutorial with you as part of the challenge. You also get a pre-recorded tips and tricks on how I find my inspiration. So if you're kind of looking at a blank piece of paper and wondering what to paint, I kind of break that down for you as well. So that's part of the bonus. And then we also have 3 door prizes that we'll be giving away that week. And so if you'd like to join us for our summer 2021 paint challenge, head over to redbyrddesigns.com, click the classes button, and it's the only class listed there right now, so you can get registered for that. One thing I keep forgetting is we are offering a early bird registration, so the first 20 to register will get some happy mail, so you'll get a little special gift in the mail from me. And I think we have 17 spots left for that early bird registration. There we go. All right, everything's pretty dry. The sand looks okay. I'm not gonna adjust anything there, but I am gonna start working on adding some waves in my ocean here. So I switched to a large round. I'm gonna load that up with my ocean color and grab a bunch of white on there. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of take my brush, I'm in an upright motion here, and I'm just gonna wiggle it back and forth in different areas. That white and the teal color are gonna blend as I'm brushing We're just creating these little waves out here. And some of them are going to be a little bit more white, some will be a little bit more blue, just depending on what you have on your brush. You can create wider waves by pressing down just a little bit harder and getting a thicker brush stroke, or you can create thinner waves by using a lighter pressure and dragging those over. Alright, so we've got some dimension happening in our ocean. Okay. Alright, so now we want to bring this water's coming into the beach here, and it's going to start to foam up here. So I'm going to grab just white, haven't washed my brush, just putting white on it and just kind of tapping that around where I want my ocean or water to come in on my beach. We're essentially creating some of that foam that happens when it comes in. And you can kind of break it up and have little bits that kind of maybe come in a little cove. So it's not just straight across. You're just tapping that color out. Okay. Do a quick little wash. I'm going to grab some white and add a little bit more clouds in my sky. It's still a little dark, so I'm going to grab just the white and just kind of come in and add a little bit more of some circle, curly Q type shapes to that, lightening it up just a little bit. And if you get it a little too light, just add a little bit of blue. You just bounce between the blue and the white until it's just how you want it. Okay. Alright, so I am going to put my, start with the palm tree here, and I'm going to switch to a smaller round. I'm going to use the burnt umber, and I'm going to start where I want my palm tree to go, and palm trees are never just straight up. They kind of curve and do a little bit of a swirl. This one's even more straight than they normally are. They usually come over and kind of up. So if you are putting in your palm tree and your arm's a little bit wiggly and you get a wiggly trunk, that's okay. That's the way palm trees are anyways. So we're just gonna get in our shape here, and we will bring it over and end it maybe right there this time. So I'm going to mix some of that tan and my burnt umber just to get me a little bit of a lighter brown something in between those two colors for my tree here. And I'm going to come in and start thickening the base, adding the brush strokes to that base. I do want it to eventually thin out. Okay, so I'm going to grab some of that burnt umber, grab a little bit of black, and create a little bit of a darker brown now, and add that to one side of my tree for the shadow part. And I'm also going to use that to create this shadow down here on the beach. And I've put my shadows in opposite ways, I've just realized. So in this case, I put my shadow on the back side of or on the right side of my tree trunk here, but then I have the shadow coming this way. So in this case, with my shadow on the right side, I have my sun coming in, and that would be my shadow. But then I put my shadow down here going this way, which means the sun should be over here casting that shadow. So the easier fix is to just move my shadow on my tree trunk. So we're going to go over that dark with some light here. And get rid of that dark on that side. There we go. So then we'll pick up that darker brown black color and put the shadow on the proper side here. Even get a little bit of some white to highlight the right side of the trunk. Get that a little bit lighter there. There we go. All right, and then the palm trees have usually some really cool shapes in the trunks themselves. They're kind of like arches that kind of build up the tree. And to do that, what I'm going to do here, and I've got some that you can see, I'm going to use the back of my brush and essentially just kind of pull that paint away from where I just put it. So I'm just putting these little arches, upside down smiley faces or upside down U's, and I'm just going to take that all the way up the tree. This is more just kind of a whimsical, fun thing to do with your tree trunk, and you don't have to do that. You can just leave it a solid color. But as you're pulling away and essentially scratching that paint, you reveal the color behind. So down here, we're just revealing that light brown from the sand, and then as we go, we start to see some of that ocean come through. It's kind of almost like a tribal design looking technique too, the way that this is all coming out. All right. Let's put in the greenery. So let me grab some green. We're going to switch to a small brush, kind of a liner brush. Excuse me. I think I'm allergic to something. I've had the sneezes all day. I'm going to get some of the green, pull it aside. I'm going to grab some burnt umber and darken it up. I want a dark green for my base. And I'm going to start by placing my branches, I guess. And so they kind of are in a fan around the palm tree, all coming back to the center here. So I'm going to start at the center and just drag a line out. And some can be a little shorter and some can be longer. They don't have to be super straight. Kind of bend a little bit maybe. You don't want them equally distanced either. Have some close together and some farther apart. Doing like a very sad tree right now. I think I'm going to make these ones a little bit longer. Really make this palm tree kind of the center of the show here. These really great long branches. Okay. So I'm going to start with that dark green still. Make just a little bit more. And we'll start putting the leaves on these branches. I'm going to start with the dark color and then I'm going to essentially do 3 layers. So we'll start with our dark and then we'll do just the green and then we'll put a light highlight color on. So for the branches, still using a liner brush, we're going to do just a quick little flick of the wrist. It's just a quick little brush stroke with some light pressure, and then we pick up and lift up, and that helps us get the nice point here at the end. So we start at the branch, flick down, and kind of pick up. We are going to be putting 3 coats down of branches. So we don't necessarily need to have the branches, these dark layers, be super full right now. We'll be able to fill in as we go with our other colors, our green and then the lighter green. And if some of them turn out a little thick, that's okay too. It could be that there's 2 leaves kind of stuck to each other, and so that's why we're seeing a little bit of a thicker leaf there. Okay. So we're getting there. Alright, so now that we've got the dark in, now we can go just directly into that holly branch green or that brighter green. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to come in and flick some leaves from the branches out. And in some cases we might just kind of go right over some of that dark. Our tree is starting to get filled in here. So let me know in the comments if how many times you've been to the beach, and if you are a beach baby, a water baby, or do you prefer mountains and lakes and things like that. Okay, it's starting to get filled in. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some of this green off to the side. I'm going to grab some of that yellow and kind of change the tone a little bit of that. It's going to turn into a bright green, and we can then come and flick some of that in there. Okay, I'm going to grab some of this tan and mix it with my green and get just a different shade. Just need a little bit more texture, something a little different. Maybe add a little burnt umber. It's kind of, some of those leaves might be on their way out, ready to fall. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to get some white and get some highlights in here. There we go. So that is our beach scene. Let me see if there's any questions. So if you want to paint along and are looking for the tracer for this, to help get you the shapes down, if you're just starting to paint, and having a tracer just helps get you over that sketching hurdle, we do have those available for you. They are in our Fun and Flourish group, where we also have other videos in there of past paintings that we've done. We have the gnomes. We have 4th of July. We've got floral. All sorts of different things are available in that group. And then plus it's a private group where we offer encouragement wherever you're at in your painting journey, and just really love on one another and want, everyone to succeed. So we encourage you to come and interact in the group, share your work so that we can encourage you wherever you're at in your painting journey, because we're all at different stages, at different levels, and sometimes we can get stuck. And having some encouragement and surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals, other artists, other people who might have gone where, or who have been where you've been, or whatever it might be, can help us get over those hurdles and start painting again, or continue painting, or whatever it might be. So I encourage you to come join us in the Fun and Flourish group, and it's just in our group's Redbyrd Designs Facebook page. Under groups, you can find it there. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you have a chance to paint something bright and summery and sunny today, or this week, or sometime soon, and get some creative time in. But this is our beach scene with the palm tree. We've got some really great ocean water there, blue skies. You can sit under the shade, enjoy the weather. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to visiting with you later. Talk to you later. Bye.